All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart. This is Saturday, February 22nd, 2014, and this is the Stock Market Today weekend update. We're going to take a look at all the markets. We have a lot to cover, so we're going to get at it real quick. First, we're looking at the daily on the Dow Industrials. It was down 30 points on Friday. We're still fighting below this resistance zone here. Short-term trend is still above the 10-day exponential, but we got this close back here on the 19th, which was Wednesday, closed below the prior day low. That's a little bit of a break to me in terms of the strength of the bulls, that we got this kind of a close. Now, this was an inside day, but still, when you're strong and you get a strong move, you don't see this. So we're getting this little bit of a pause sideways. So let's take a look at a weekly basis. And on the weekly basis, very compressed, very compressed. By compressed, I'm talking about between the high and the low of the week, okay? It's the shortest range, very compressed week back, the most compressed since back here on January 10th and January 3rd. And the thing to remember about this is the market always cycles between range expansion and range contraction, okay? So now when it contracts, it's like it's building up power, okay, and then you're going to get some type of move and some type of expansion, and it just cycles between those two modes. So right now we've been contracting. We'll take a look at the S&P 500, a similar type situation, but this one has, as we've talked about before, retraced much more of the move, but it hasn't moved to new highs. It hasn't closed on any new highs. The S&P weekly, very compressed also. Now you're seeing these warning signs in here that you've got the divergence that hasn't gone away, and I have a hard time thinking that all this divergence on a weekly basis, that's all you're going to get. Now that's all we got back in here, so you never know, and we just got to pay attention and see what's, see if it pushes above these new highs. And right now, not seeing that. On the Nasdaq Composite, this is pushing up into the resistance zones, and these two lines again were the previous peaks of rallies back in 2000, the year 2000, and we haven't been above those two peaks, and so this is what we're fighting in here with the Nasdaq, and it is staying above the trend. Now, you notice how we had this close below this prior day low in here, first time you'd had it in this entire rally, and then all of a sudden we're kind of fighting a sideways move. The Nasdaq weekly, similar again, we're getting divergence, very compressed week, again most compressed since, so they're all acting somewhat similar, and here's two different weeks. Okay, now we want to look at, let's take a look at the New York Composite. The New York Composite again is fighting this resistance line that I had drawn in this consolidation area here. And it's been struggling to close above that, and it hasn't been able to do that. It's been going the last 4 days, and it's going sideways. The Dow Transports. Where are you? Dow Transportation Average, okay. Dow Transports is it's trying to bounce back. It's got a couple closes above the 10. I think it's got to get above 73.38. For me to think it's pushing higher and rallying. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. Some people are going to look at this and say, well, wow, maybe we got a little shoulder, head, and shoulder reversal. But, again, if it's consolidation, if it's a head and shoulders consolidation, I like to see that up sideways near the top where it was. If it's a reversal, it's got to have something to reverse. This isn't much to reverse. So I would hesitate to call this a head and shoulders, honestly. We'll just have to see whether we start to continue to get a rally mode out of that. Let's move to the Dow Transports Weekly. Now, this is interesting. The last 4 weeks, we've basically gone sideways and kind of dojis, very small ranges between the opening and the close of the week. And then we had a similar type action all the way back here in 2011, and we pushed higher out of it. Now, that's what's going to be interesting to see. Do we push higher out of this? And get back above it. So that's, I always kind of look for patterns and look back and say, oh, well, when did we get something similar to this type of thing? And this kind of jumped out at me when I looked at it. All right, let's take a look at the VIX. Where is the VIX? Oh, I think I just had it and I lost it. Okay, not a whole lot new on the VIX, just very low. When you look at it on a weekly basis, this was one thing I was going to point out. Again, you know, we've got this this range in here. You know, that's not good. I shouldn't do that. This is what I need. You get this type of range. Okay, and until it blows out of this type of range, I don't think we've got anything in terms of anything bearish, but it's going to have to get above these peaks for a sustained bearish move. So, well, it's something to be on the alert for. Let's take a look at the short-term trading index, if I can find it. There it is. Again, this one's not signaling anything new. It's kind of in the middle on the 10-day exponential moving average. The high-low index. This bounced up on Friday. The 10-day is still trending up, so it's in a short-term upward trend. If we break through this trend line here, I think we'll look to test extremes, which could mean that we're in a rally mode. So it'll be interesting to see if we get that or not. So that's another thing to be looking for. Let's look at the housing home builders ETF. Home builders ETF, highest close since January 8th, back over here. Okay, so this is pushing a little bit higher. It's trending upward still right now. So we continue to watch that. The semiconductors, it's right on it. It's what I need. This has been pushed higher also, and we're not getting any kind of close below the prior day low that would signify that the bulls have run out of steam. And you know, it's pulled back a little bit on Friday, but hasn't, still trending up very nicely and kind of leading these others, these three amigos that I call them. So where's the financial ETF? The financial ETF's kind of gone sideways, not really signaling a whole lot, but basically sideways on its actions. So it's not leading, not significantly lagging. All right, now I want to take a look at Apple for our weekly look at Apple. Apple lost 18 and 3/4 points on the week. It slightly broke this trend line, then pulled back and reversed down. It looks like it's resuming its downtrend. We've got a small gap right in here. And let's see what else. I think, you know, there's a good chance we're going to try to go for that. I think we're going to be retesting lows. Right now, we're in basically where you're getting lower highs and lower lows, you know, breaking below this low, not going to a higher high. So this is the start of a downtrend. I'm looking for this to resume this move. I had talked about it. I'm still haven't changed this opinion that this was a bear wedge, rising wedge, which means it needs to retrace all of this wedge back down here to 400. So we'll see if this starts to get this fast and furious type move to the downside and break through these lows or not, or whether this develops into something different. Okay, the last thing I want to take a look at today is Baidu. And Baidu is still in an upward short-term trend. Okay, we haven't gotten any kind of close below prior day low, but that's what I'm looking for. We're starting to peter out a little bit. We're getting a bunch of dojis in here. I think, let's see, we've had 5 waves up in this stock. So right now I'm kind of looking for a ABC type of correction. So this looks like A, B, and then C. So let's see if I can, you know, we got this, and then I'd be looking for this. And we got these gaps that need to get filled down here. When we look at, let me look at the bigger picture, scan back a little bit, you can see the moves that we've come from. Okay, this is a 4th wave move that we've shown before, but I believe we've had 5 waves up in this move. We've broken this trend line. And so right now I don't have a sell signal, so I'm not saying this is getting ready, that it's imminent, but that's what I'm going to be watching for. So that's kind of the picture on Baidu and Apple and the market. We'll be back with, I'll take a look at trade ideas, the ones we had last week and possible new ones for this coming week tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by. This has been Joe with Beyond the Chart. Talk to you soon.